Yes, mates, how's it going? My name's Lee. Welcome back to the channel for another FPL video. Today we're going through our game week 4 team selection. I've made a couple of transfers so we can talk about that. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like the video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below about some of the things that you're doing for this upcoming game week. Let's rock and roll. Right, up first, I just wanted to discuss my game week 3 performance. So I only got 45 points. I had a game week rank of 6.1 mil. Which takes my overall points to 184 and my overall rank of 750k. That's a massive down from about 350k or so. My Sterling captain did not pay off at all, and yeah, very, very poor from me. Anyway, onto the defence and the goalkeeper. Trent and Diaz are mainstays, along with James. And I'm sticking with Sanchez in goal. Like, he's on fire at the minute. They're playing Leeds. I know Leeds did well against Chelsea. I don't expect that to continue. Chelsea were just so poor, and I think Brighton will be a really tough team to play against. Not sure if Brighton keep a clean sheet, but I've got Ward on the bench, and Sanchez is a better option. I'm not using a transfer. He's in good form. It's just an easy one to put in. Trent against Bournemouth is still highly owned, although he is plummeting. There's a point when Liverpool are going to start playing well, because they always do. Like, they're still going to finish second, in my opinion. I don't see any team competing with Man City and Liverpool, so they will start competing. It will, and he will get attacking returns at some point. And I see people transferring him out against Bournemouth, and it's just a really poor decision. I can see Liverpool having 80% of the ball, absolutely dominating. I can see a clean sheet and Trent returns. And if he's in your team, you have to play him. This is the kind of Trent game. 100% in my team. Not taking him out anytime soon, and he will stay in until a wild card. And if they're playing Porto at that point, then I will consider taking him out. But up until that point, no chances in 100%. Same with Diaz. I want Cancelo really, and that's probably a bit of hindsight on my part where I should have gone Cancelo. But he's still a great option. Like, he still plays for City. He still plays for one of the best defenses in the league. I don't see them conceding against Palace. Palace have a good side. They have a decent counter-attacking side. I think they'll do okay. Zaha's in good form. But I can see Ruben Diaz just having a good game again. And he's always got a goal in him as well. Yeah, he's a bit one of my mini differentials, but he kind of cancels out the Cancelo points. So it's kind of like, not so much a lose-lose situation, but Diaz versus Cancelo. Cancelo's always going to come out on top over a longer run. Diaz can outscore him on a single game week, and maybe this is the one from a set piece. Cheeky Diaz goal, boom, I'll take that all day long. Reece James is a funny one. He played centre-back, and I don't like him as a right centre-back. He's so much better as a right wing-back, and that's where he needs to be playing. Leicester don't look great. They always concede, but they always tend to score as well. I can see it being a high-ish scoring game, but Chelsea to win 3-1, maybe something like that. Hoping for a Reece James return. Same with Cucurella on the other side. I'm not sure if he's going to play left wing back or left centre back. I don't mind either way, because like the way he kind of plays, he's more suited to that kind of left centre back role, which we did for Brighton last season. And if he does, he's always in the bonus points. He looks like he is taking some set pieces, which is nice as well. And it's just someone to like keep your eye on from that point of view. I still like the double up of the Chelsea defence, and I think there's a good chance that they're going to keep a clean sheet this time. I thought that against Leeds though, and we all saw how that went, didn't we? Right, on to the midfielders. King Mo still on the side. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously a big United fan, and Liverpool were just so poor against us that I was disappointed to concede the goal. Salah was just poor all game, and he gets a really scruffy goal. But maybe that's a sign of a good goal scorer. Score when your team's not playing well. Really highly owned. He's probably my captain this week. It's probably either Salah or Jesus, I think, at the moment, but I'm not 100% sat on that. Probably 75% leaning towards Salah. Bournemouth at home, they're going to dominate the ball. I'm hoping that Salah plays a bit more central. He was really wide against United, and I'm surprised he did that. Like, those kind of runs from out to win were causing us a lot of problems, and they just weren't doing it enough. And Salah's one of the best at it. So if Firmino does play drops deep, I'm hoping Salah's just going to cut through that gap there. It could be on some serious holes. Like, I think the Bournemouth at home fixture is a bit like the Norwich one last season, when you almost have to be looking at targeting that fixture, because they're not great on the ball. They're going to concede a lot of goals, and they don't seem to score many either. So Salah's nailed for me right now. That could change with a wild card. I am looking at De Bruyne, and he's got some really good, great games coming up, but Salah's an easy pick for me right now. On to Martinelli. He's on fire. He's on absolute fire at the minute. He just seems to do nothing wrong. Fulham at home, he's still really highly owned. His price is slowly creeping up, and he's just looking really good. My only issue is Smith Rowe going to come in any minute and take his place? I don't see it. I really don't see that. But yeah, there's always that risk of rotation. But he's in my side and he's going to play, and you need to back your decisions sometimes, don't you? He's really cheap enabler, and he's there, so I can get Salah, Trent, and James, and so on and so forth. Easy pick for me, and if he doesn't play, it's just one of those. And is that highly owned, especially from the probably topper end of managers? It's not going to affect you too much. And then onto one of my transferred players, I brought in Rodrigo for Sterling. Sterling just hasn't cut it for me. He's been so disappointing. I think he got 9 points in 3 games or something like that, 10 points in 3 games, and he's just disappointing, mate. Like, I thought he was going to be my nice little differential, and I could drop down to any 8.58 million mids, and none of them are standing out to me. And the only way that I felt best to get my funds and like move money about was to downgrade Sterling massively and then upgrade elsewhere, and you'll see in a moment who I've gone to. Rodrigo on 5 at the minute, he's playing number 9, and I think even if he drops deep into number 10, as long as he's playing, like, he's always a threat. The only issue is that Brighton away game. After that, they've got really nice games. His price is always on the up, his ownership's always on the up, and I just wanted to get in there early. I actually made these transfers early, which I don't normally do, but because certain players were losing values and other players were going up, I felt I had to pull the trigger then, otherwise it was just going to scupper my whole plans moving forward. So I've got a couple of plans to move kind of Diaz to Cancelo in the future, or maybe even look at someone like Cucurella upgrading to like a 6 million defender, or even some of the strikers upgrading. So it's always an option there as well. And then if Rodrigo doesn't work, I can pretty much go to any 7.5-ish midfielder. So I'm looking at someone like Gundogan. I can stretch to 7.9 at the minute, so I could even get some like Saka or Mount. So there's some really nice options in there for me, and I just wanted to kind of keep my options open, spread some funds around, and I think Rodrigo is the best option for me right now. On to the big boys up front. Haaland and Jesus are just standard nowadays, aren't they? I'm seeing Jesus' ownership there, 41.3%. I mean, it's not, it's like 80%. That's a poor typo, that, mate. Very, very poor. Not about that. Haaland at home is one of my other captaincy options, but he's not really in contention compared to Salah and Jesus. I think Arsenal will find the game against Fulham harder than they think. Fulham are a decent footballing side, and I think they'll cause them some problems, a bit like they did against Liverpool. They're still not great at the back, in my opinion. I think Mitrovic will cause them some problems, and I think they will score. So if you have got an Arsenal defender, that's probably something to keep an eye on. I think they will concede a goal. And they're just a generally good footballing side. For all kind of Arsenal's attacking prowess, they are very much a defensive counter-attacking side for the most part. Particularly when they score or they concede, they seem to kind of change the way they play, and they kind of drop back into shapes and things like that. Yeah, a bit of a weird one. And then the other transfer I've made, I've gone from Archer to Tony. Really like Ivan Tony. He's playing well. Brentford are playing well. He's got really good fixtures. It's just a really easy transfer for me to make. I've taken a -4 for that, but I think the combination of Sterling and Archer is worse than Rodrigo and Tone. I think the upside of those two over the course of the next 5 fixtures, they've got some really nice games coming up, and it's just an easy transfer for me to make. And he's got my mini differential in there up front as well. And his price is always continuing to increase. I think he will just bully that Everton defence. I have no question about it. I think Brentford in general will just bully Everton. They're not a great side. They still look shaky as anything at the back. And I think he could be in for some goals this week. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe even a hat-trick. Either way, we will take it, mate. So, on the bench, I've got Ward, Andreas, Johnny and De Silva. I did consider playing Johnny. But Newcastle are a good side. I can see that being a 0-0. So maybe I should put him in, but I just don't know who to drop. I don't want to, like, even though Rodrigo's got a tough game because I've transferred him in, I almost feel kind of pressured to be playing him. And Johnny just hasn't excited me at all, like the way I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to make me feel things in weird places, but he hasn't. And that's one of them, mate. Took a gamble on him, hasn't worked. And that's, yeah, like I said, it's just one of those. The only one I was considering was putting De Silva in instead of Rodrigo. Same again, I just feel pressured to play Rodrigo, and I'm going to play him because he's in good form. Leeds are playing okay, and he's number 9. He's just been playing really well recently, and it's difficult for me to kind of drop him from that point of view. So I've made 2 transfers this week. I've took a -4 for that. It was tough to take that because I don't really like taking hits. But I just feel like the upside of the hit was better than what I had. And if I didn't take the hit, then I'd be basically playing... I'd have to go from Sterling to Rodrigo and play Johnny instead of Archer. And those two just don't seem to be any better. Like I felt Tony was worth the -4. And I think he can outperform that. I think he can give me some positive kind of gains from that. A couple of things I'm looking at in the future. Like I said, I'm looking at going to Cancelo maybe. Striker-wise, I really like somebody like Mitrovic. Not just yet. Probably game week 8 or 9, I think it is. And then Fulham have got some really nice fixtures. And then Tony's fixtures get difficult from that point. So that's just an easy downgrade from there. The only one I'm considering, not just yet, is Haaland to Kane. I'm not sure on Kane's minutes once they start playing 3 games a week, and they've got the most nonsensical pre-season friendly against Barcelona in a couple of days, and it's just, what are they doing? Just wasting time. And I think he's going to play quite a strong team. I think Haaland's going to play a part. Just a really bizarre thing to be playing as like a friendly right now when they've got all these competitive games, and then this is the start of playing 3 games a week up until the World Cup. So Haaland will get a rest. And I think minutes are going to be really crucial from now until then. A couple of other players I'm looking at. I really like the James Maddison. Maddison's got some really nice games after game week 8 or 9. Same again, like similar to Mitrovic. And if I kind of play it right, I could make a double transfer from Tony to Mitrovic, Rodrigo to Maddison, and I quite like the way that works from that point on. But we'll kind of have a think about in the future from there. Right, mates, that's been it for today's video. So that's my wrap up of my game week 4 team selection. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new, please subscribe, like the video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below of the things you're thinking about doing for game week 4. And yeah, my name's Lee. Have a nice day. Peace and love, mate.